Another meeting. Good evening, Stephen. Bad day in the office?
Yeah, really bad one. It was a poor performance, really. And it's a little bit of a trend of the tournament that batting first seems to be a bit of a challenge, not just because of conditions, but maybe a little bit of players' mindset and then ability to work their way out of tough situations. And we today were really poor. Sometimes you turn up at grounds, maybe the expectation is for a high-scoring game, but the last few games we've had here have been quite challenging. I thought the wicket was challenging today, and we just didn't adapt. And then we could have had an opportunity, but we were sloppy with the fielding and probably not as accurate as what we need to be with the ball. So we're 0 for 3 in our skills. Pretty poor day.
Ken?
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, mate.
Just following up on that, how much do you think that's down to the pressure they exerted on you with what seemed a very good bowling display, and they were obviously very good in the field as well?
Yeah, you always got to acknowledge when a team is played out and you're bowled out for 100. I think we contributed to it, which was disappointing. I thought Peters bowled an excellent spell. That was his first game. He bowled with pace and created some good challenges. But I can't help feeling that we contributed to that score, even if it was a good bowling performance and they were able to extract a little bit of variable bounce and pace. You still should post a 140, 150. And I think that could have been quite a good challenge, but it wasn't to be. We just gave it up too early, too easily.
You mentioned the pitches in particular. Have the pitches been a consequence of the rather, I won't call it indifferent weather, but the inconsistent weather we've seen where it's been warm, then when it's rained quite significantly?
I think one of the things I'm learning from being here a few years is that the starting time is a little bit of a challenge. So a lot of domestic cricket is played through the evening hours where the wickets have played quite well. We've found there's quite a distinct difference between the last part of the day and then moving into the evening, even if the wicket's dry. Pal's a good example of that. It's very dry, but teams are able to chase well. So it's adapting to that. And if you find yourself in a situation where that's not happening, it's actually getting a score on the board that can challenge. And unfortunately, the trend of the modern day player is if it's too hard, they don't find a method for long enough. And they're very keen to hit their way out of trouble. And we fell into that today. And as I say, we were quite poor. There's nothing left in the carcass, surely. What do you want?
How will today's loss influence your preparation into Thursday's game? And do you think there are any necessary adjustments that need to be made?
I think that'll come from the players. We're time challenged. It's one day off, so you're balancing quite a heavy schedule with obviously wanting to train and get better versus recovery time and being fresh for the next game. So it's a real fine balance between making the players work a bit harder or just looking for improvements mentally. And I think at this stage most of it's mental, is just being prepared for the next game. We go home now for 2 games. Our record at home's been very good. So we get some comfort from that, and we will be very uncomfortable from today. So as a coach, I actually quite like that. When you're a little bit comfortable, you often make mistakes, and perhaps the last win, which meant a lot to us, was a little bit too much for us to absorb and bounce back and play well again here against a team that made changes and were desperate to win. So a lot of it is mental at this point, and changes can help, but often continuity and backing people can work as well. So that's the challenge of franchise cricket.
Also from my side, is the fact that you still have 2 home games and you play your fate is still in your hands a bit of a comforting factor for you?
Yeah, it's a positive, but we've got to play better. As simple as that. But we're in the race. We're probably out of the 1 and 2 hunt, which is sort of important about getting alive. So you just got to try and qualify now. And I think there's 5 teams, 3 teams in particular, that are really going to hunt hard. So yeah, all I'm worried about is an improvement in performance in the next game, and if we're good enough, we'll get through. If not, then we'll lament how poor we are at certain stages of this tournament. I think it's enough. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.